Going to find out on Monday and Tuesday. They're going to diagnose it and see what they got to do. Smart man would put a note on the back of that. And then there's me. I'm not going to. We're going to find out right there. No guts, no glory. Never bring your neighbor home all bloodied up. If you do, just leave him on the step and get the hell out of there. The new one. I think it's a success. There goes the dog. He's had enough.
This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we could throw it and drive. With the radio up so loud they can hear us from miles. Nothing to lose. I feel it in my soul. So let's let the good times roll.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to FergTV and our little project today, which is we're going to put a train horn on Rudy. That's my project for today. I got to locate a place to put the tank and the horn. I have an idea. If you've noticed, the eagles are gone. The eagles are gone because they're going to get replaced in a couple of days, and I'm having somebody else put the new decals on, which are not what was there before. And if you look up there, you can see those are coming off. So I'm going to take and replace them. I'm going to have some new ones made. They're in the process now, longer, 48 inches and a little bit wider. Looks like it's lost up there. These are going to stay. And yeah, that's our upgrades. Now, this could be an easy project, but I'll show you why it's not going to be. You always got to put a few twists in everything, right? I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be different. So what I could have done is simply used, well, this horn is for the air horns that are on there now. This is the city horn, which we checked it out the other day. It's not blowing, and I think it's because the horn itself is bad. We checked the relay, we checked the fuse, or the brake, yeah, I guess the fuse, and everything's okay there, but the horn is not blowing. I don't need that, but I could use this and hook the wires up to the solenoid on the new air horn, and it would just blow. But I don't want to do that. I want this red, white, and blue hanging down, and I'm trying to find a place to put it. So that's the thing to be decided. I'm almost thinking that valve's going to go right here, and I'll bore a hole down through, and this will hang right there. Won't be in my way. I don't know. We'll find out. Well, that's one of the things. I also have to get the hosing up to there, which I think we're going to come up from out there, come up through here, and boom, go in. Sounds easy enough. And the other thing is, they say don't hook this up, and it says it right on the box. Don't hook this up to your air tanks that are on the vehicle. Put another air tank. So we're going to put another air tank. I mean, I can't see why it would be a problem unless, you know, you lost your air and then your brakes would lock up. But I guess that could happen with the new tank too, right? Although there's going to be a check valve there. I don't know. We're putting a new tank. I already got it. I'll show you what we got. There's our train horns. They're from Grand General. Okay, so on here it gives you a diagram, and what it tells you is do not connect directly to the brake tank. So I'm going to put a secondary tank on. Whether you have to do it or not, tell me in the comments that you've done this project. You don't have to do that. I'm going to tell you right now that there's an air horn on there, and there's no secondary tank for that. It's connected to the 3 tanks that are on here. So it's a smaller air horn, much smaller than this, but it still uses air, and it's connected to that, and that's from Volvo. So I don't know, maybe I could have gotten by. So if you wanted to do it by just pushing the button on the steering wheel, then you would use this valve, boom, but I'm not going to. So we're going to use this valve and our pull cord hanging down. And I think that will mount nicely where I said. And we'll just bore a couple of holes, put some bolts through there, hold it in place, and put a couple of fittings in. Boom. I think we're going to be in good shape. And this is the tank that I got. It's a 5-gallon 7-port from Horn Blasters. And we're going to find a place to put that, which I've already done some preliminary looking. I've got a few places in mind. So now let's go out and prove it now that the pots are here. I forgot to mention, today is Thursday, which doesn't matter what day in the calendar year, but today's Thursday, and this Monday coming up, the truck is going into a Volvo dealer, well, a truck repair place, because I have a fault that came up, and it's P203300 if I've got it correct, after doing my research. This could be an expensive emissions repair. I'm going to find out on Monday and Tuesday. They're going to diagnose it and see what they got to do and give me an estimate. I think it's going to be expensive. Question is, could this horn go here? Well, we got plenty of room. I might have to put a plate on here to mount it. I gotta see what I got to make a bracket. I think the horn's gonna go over here anyway. That's the bottom line. Okay. So now let's move to the tank area. Okay. Boy. We could definitely do this. We can definitely put that here. Okay, I think we have a plan. We're going to get this thing marked where we're going to drill holes. I got to clean out in here first. We'll put the tank there. I got to see what I got for a plate for that. And we'll decide if it's going to go that way or down. I don't know where you get the biggest effect out of it. We'll figure it out. Well, I think I got the horn location figured out. I'm going to use this piece of steel to go across 2 holes, and I'm going to cut another piece off of it that'll be a spacer. And that'll take care of the 3rd hole. Now what I got to do is mark a location for this. And I didn't want it tipping up so it wouldn't get any water in it, and I didn't want it too low so it would get taken out or damaged. Probably not taken out, but damaged. So if we go here and somewhere in this location, that gets me up a little higher right there, right? Go there. Why couldn't I use that hole right there and then drill one more? And I think the answer is I could. Smart man would put a nut on the back of that. And then there's me. I'm not going to. Alright. Well, got a mark. That should be the only one for this that I have to mark. All right, sir. All right, that's all tightened up. That's perfect. The only thing that's moving is the bracket, which that'll get sturdy as the outer fairing gets put on it. All right, we've already put in our air fitting, so we're good to get some air over to it. I think the next step is to get this tank on here. I was just going to hold this tank up and mark it like I did. I can't do that. So I got to take measurements and work off of them. Okay, that's the next thing. Let's get some measurements. All right, I took all of my measurements, and the holes that are in the tank brackets are much larger than the bolts, so it's going to give you some freedom. I'm drilling with my feminine side, so I don't have a lot of power. Still got it done. All right, we'll open those holes up. Oh. 2 3/8. Might as well do these first. Yeah. Whew. It's gonna call for an extra beer tonight. Hey, this might be a good time for you to go give it ye old up yours. And I've been getting a few subscribers lately. That's encouraging. If you haven't subscribed and you're getting anything out of any of these things, even a chuckle, maybe you'll subscribe. I'd appreciate it. All right, so those holes are done. I think the next thing to do is to put our fittings in, so let's do that next. Putting Teflon tape on all my fittings, getting them in the tank. This is going to be it for today. I'm just going to get this stuff on, get the tank hanging, I'm going to call it a night. We'll start all over again tomorrow. I had to run down and get some plugs. You think you got everything you need. I thought they were in an assortment that I had, but yeah. Go down to my local hardware store, see my buddy Gary, get some parts from him, gives him a couple of bucks. And you remember when you wrap these, you wrap them so that when you put them in, it doesn't tear it off. So you want this going in the opposite direction of what you're going to turn, so it doesn't pick it up. And I mean, you can't even see what I'm doing there, but see the way I'm wrapping it? I'm going to end it there. And that way, when we go in this way, it won't peel it off. I've done it the wrong way, for sure. And you know how you know you did it the wrong way? It doesn't always get caught and peel off, but a lot of times it will. How about that? I had the right wrench over here. I'm starting to run out of fuel, so things are becoming a bigger task than what they should be. So we got a check valve that we put in. That's not what this is. It's just the relief. This is the check valve. And before I put that in, I want to put some tape on this and put this on. My 1/8 inch plug, which I didn't have either. Tomorrow we'll run the hoses, put the valve in, tap into the other tank. I know right where we're going there. Alright, we tighten these up. And then we'll put this tank on. Well, a little trick you may already know, but if you don't, it might help you somewhere down the line. Because you're doing this by yourself, and you're at that point sometimes, right? When nobody's around to give you a hand for a couple minutes. I mean, I could run down and get Sue down in the back, but I'm going to do this. So we're going to put some, you know, whatever you got. This is Gorilla duct tape, but it doesn't have to be that. Just to hold them on so it won't turn on you when you put the nuts on the other side. Let's see what we can do. Ooh. I don't know if I can get a nut on. Hold it. One step at a time. And now let's get a nut on. That's the first step. Now that that's on there, cut yourself a little slack, right? That duct tape is wonderful. That's not my doing. I saw somebody the other day doing that, and I said I'm going to try it the next time, and then I'll pass it along if it works. Well, it's working, because I don't know how you would do this by yourself without doing something like that. If you got another way to do it, let me know in the comments. I'm always willing to learn something. This nut is going to go on, and I am going to be happy. Just when you think there's no God, eh? Wow, I'm telling you, that duct tape, that is the ticket. All right, we're going to go to the inside and tighten this up. Okay, so if we have any luck, we'll be able to tighten this up from the inside. Let's see. Nope. Well, that's kind of asking for a lot, don't you think? So I'm going to have to hold it out there. Let's see if we can wedge the wrench out here. Maybe I can tighten it up a little bit and then do it. But now I've taken the tape off the inside. Jeez, that wasn't good thinking, right? I think my wife left already. Yeah, I gotta see if she's around. Okay, if you can hold that wrench right there. It's on. Yep, let me know when you're ready. You're in position.
Yeah.
Last one, the bottom one in there.
Okay. Ready when you are.
Ready when I am, okay. Yeah. I am ready. Last one. Okay. I'll get it.
No, it went up and
I'll get it. Yeah, your hand good. If it was easy, everybody would do it. That's going to do it for today, and we'll pick up right here. Just like that, it's morning. We're back. So I'm trying to find my best way in with my hoses. And I think if I come up through the floor and go straight up, because I'm thinking the valve's going to go up the top up here. Question is, how do we clear that path? And that's what I'm working on now. So I'm thinking that we take this bar, safety bar off here, and maybe there's some other kind of retainers for this plastic housing. If I can get in there, maybe we'll be happy. I have to learn one step at a time. It's not something I've done before. So normally there'd be a cap over this. Never had one. And then we gotta figure out how to get this plastic housing out. I think that's my best way up. I'm also thinking at the same time it might be the best way to run my wire over here for the for the camera, front camera, so I don't have to keep plugging and unplugging it. It can stay in permanently. That there. I was wondering if, with that out, if this just pops out, or do we have to take this down, which I can't see how that comes down. Alright, let me do some learning and I'll come back and get you. After doing a little research here, I found out that I could take that track down by prying it off of the grommets that hold it up. And the reason that we did that was to get this released off the side. I had to take the handle off, and that allowed that to come out, and the panel down here to come out just had a retainer on it here. So now the next thing that needs to be done, let's put a light on here, is to drill down through and put a grommet in, and I'm going to be able to run my hoses, ear hoses, straight up through. And that's where we're at. You're up to speed. Let's get this over here. Not a lot of room to work, and you got to check underneath to make sure you're not going to hit anything and come out in the right spot. I think we are. We're going to find out right there. No guts, no glory. Okay, we're through the first panel. Actually, I don't know, Don, I might be wrong. You know what? It is just a single panel. Huh. I have neighbor Don here today. I see you, love you, hon. They're going to the beach. Neighbor Don is here.
Yeah.
Sporting his
I'm just
new hat.
inspecting. Just over here to inspect.
Nah, he's doing more than inspecting. He's moral support. And Don, for years, was a body man, so he's well versed in this, and he's giving me a little guidance. I was wrong about the thickness. I thought it was a double panel, and it's not. And we're through. The grommet is in. I already cut the grommet, so I can slide tubing right up through. Now the tubing can go right up just as we sit right here. The next thing I got to figure out is how am I getting through there. And I think that's going to be easier to do than this was, so we'll figure it out. So what we're going to do now is Don's over, so I'm going to utilize him. He's going to help me. He's going to work up the top. So I have to plug in here with my 1/4-inch air line, get it up over the frame and up through over there. And then over here we've got 2 lines. They're both 3/8. One is going to go, this is my inlet, it's going to go to this tank over here, and I can do that after. One of those, there's a plug on that and come out in the center of the tank. So right now we're going to focus on this one, and I'm going to get that up and over and pass it up to Don, and we're going to work on passing those 2 3/8 and 1/4-inch lines up to the top. So we need this one right here. Okay. That's going to be our feed up to the horn. Okay, you get a little bit more, maybe a foot. That's pretty good right there, Don. That leaves me some slack to be able to tie it off. Plug that into there. Okay, that's in. And now we're going to bring this up like we did the last one. Yeah, you got to make sure you come through the right path there. Now, you got a little, you got a little bit more. Okay, so right about in there. Now, does that look like that's going to be long enough to go up to where we need to go?
Yeah, it does.
It does, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect, all right, I'm coming up then. Through. All right, that's up. Now this guy, this should be the easy one. I left this one for last.
Yeah, it's not as long.
Now that one's gonna be a little more of a challenge because it's tight now. Oh, there she goes. Just when you think there's no God, huh? Something like that happens. Oh, that's perfect. I couldn't be more happy with this setup. I don't want to get too excited yet. We're not there yet. Now we're going to the next step. We're going to get it up, and we got to figure out how to drill that hole up there. I don't want to tie anything off just yet. So the next thing to do here is to pass this up through here, which I don't see that as being a big deal. Then the next critical part is to get that up through there, which that'll go, and then you got to get it inside here. So how do we drill a hole? I'm thinking I can drill a hole right here, this way. Got a light on. Get this stuff out of here, of course. Can that netting come down? Guess it doesn't need to, but it would be better if it was off. I'm going to check that out. And then I think we'll drill a hole through there. And once we come in, we'll be golden. So Don, before we go any further,
Yeah, I just want to see.
I'm glad that you're helping me, but I got to tell you that I'm a little concerned.
Well,
Have you got the approval to be over here from the boss?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right.
It's sanctioned. You can come over and help.
clear.
Okay. I don't. If you get hurt, if we draw blood, I want to make sure that we're okay.
Oh, she's
it was
used to that.
it was sanctioned. Okay, and you're working injured too because you messed up your arm. That's dedication. The plan is now, Don is going to shield those wires with this piece of plastic. That way when I drill through, because here's where we're working, right over in here.
Let's see if I can get in there.
Get these wires down. Hang on, you're caught on them there just a little bit. All right. Yeah. There. How far back can we go? Let's see where this comes through. You ready?
Yeah.
Plus, it's going to drill rather easily, too.
Yeah.
You let me know when you see it coming out. Okay, back up. Let me get my hand up there for a second. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's like you got to be careful because you're right at the metal here.
Huh.
You're right at the metal of the roof. I can't tell where I'm at. Is the problem. It seems like I'm right off in this area, but if it was, it would be going right through. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it is there. If I pull this back, see if you can look up and see that drill bit. See it?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think?
Okay, you're right at the ankle and you're down.
So do you think we're going to be able to drill a big enough hole to get those two tubings through?
You'd have to go lower than the drill, though.
So what we might have to do is drill 2 holes instead of one bigger one. And then get the tubing through.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to drill a second hole. I'm going to be this way now. Okay? And I'll try to go down.
I could see it a bit before, now I can't see.
Yeah, it's not there yet. But I'm near wires, so you got to be really cautious. Sounds like I'm through and I'm hitting metal again. Okay, it's right there. Yeah, I'm not hitting wires, but I'm right there again. Okay, we're gonna go to a bigger drill bit. We're through. I'll show you what's going on here. So we're drilling a hole through here. So I'm going to drill 2. Problem is the cab roof comes down right there. So we gotta go on an angle, and then you have these wires that are right there. What if I go? Watch your fingers now. I bring you home with blood. Kathy's not going to be happy.
Just don't go too deep. My fingers are there.
Your fingers are there?
You got a little room.
Never bring your neighbor home all bloodied up. If you do, just leave them on the step and get the hell out of there. There's the screwdriver that help guide you there a little bit. That's the one I want you to come through. See it?
Okay.
Okay, well that's the front hole. If you can get it through, push it. There, you got it. They're both the same size. It just seemed like the back, the one going to the rear of the truck was a little bigger. Let me get my hand up in there, because I could feel the hole earlier. Yeah, got it. Winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
There we go. Pretty much untangled, too.
Yep. Beautiful. Yeah, we had just enough hose on that roll.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right.
It's a matter of
What?
tying it down where you want to tie it.
I got to go downstairs now, right? And I got to make sure we didn't pull anything. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's time to tie them off.
Start coming from the back right
Yeah.
to the front.
We're at the point where we got to make some decisions on length of hose and cut it, because because it's time. That's going to allow us to put this one in. These are already tightened up. So we're going to put that in. Got that somewheres in that area. Okay, extra piece. I wanted to get the hoses cut and put on so that I can figure out exactly where the valve wants to lay, kind of naturally without forcing anything. So if that's where she's going to lay, we need to bore a couple of holes. We got no reason why we can't come through there. There. Okay. And then if that's going to lay there, how's that going to work with our pull cord here? Yeah, that should work. I can always get rid of that ring too, so I think we'll do that. We'll put it on a little bit of an angle. Now, before I go tightening this up, I want to see about boring that bottom hole. This might be a good chance for you to go give it ye old up yours and maybe think about subscribing if you're getting anything out of this, even if it's a chuckle. Leave a comment. I'm not telling you this is the way to do it. I'm telling you this is the way I'm doing it. Whether it be right, whether it be wrong. I know a lot of people are going to say, you didn't need to put another tank on. You could have run right off of the other ones. You know what? You're probably right. You're not going to get an argument from me. But I'm going by what they're telling me. Don's giving me a hand here. Good thing. Good thing you get a couple of guys that kind of half-ass know what they're doing. And Don has been cleared by Kathy to come over and work. Did she say you could work or you could come over?
No, she doesn't know nothing.
She doesn't know nothing? He snuck out. You're going to have to get Don a collar like the dog has. He won't leave his perimeter. All right. Yeah, this is going to work. Boy, those bolts you came up with, Don, there, the cat's meow. Perfect. Don has a local hardware store just 2 houses down. All of us old guys, right? We got stuff, we got all kinds of stuff. We save it. We say, you ever going to use that again? I don't know, but I'll have it. Well, we built up air pressure, no problem. That's a good sign. I can't judge if it took longer than usual because there was no air in this. Everything was completely out. So we're ready to do a test. Here's the original horn. Okay, we're gonna do a test. Gonna do a test. So this is the original horn. This is the new one. The new one. I think it's a success. There goes the dog. He's had enough. Well, all I gotta do is put this all. He went down in the back. He went down in the back. Scared the dog. I gave them a warning. Anyway, I just gotta put this all back together now. And it was a success. I'm glad you were here. Maybe you learned something. Maybe if you got one of these Volvos, you see an idea of how you could probably do this. Again, I'm not telling you this is the way to do it. I'm telling you it's the way that I did it. The initial test was a success. We'll see how it goes down the road. And I think that's going to conclude this little project. Thanks for joining me. And you know, maybe you'll go give it ye old up yours, and maybe you'll subscribe, and maybe you'll comment. I'm always open to suggestions, or you know, I do appreciate the niceties that go on there too. And I guess that's going to do it, and I'll see you on the next one.